In this video, we will see how you start the BDD process. We'll take a user story and show how you could derive scenarios using a collaboration technique. Then finally, how you could automate the scenarios in minutes. Typically, in an agile project, requirements are given as user stories, something similar to the one given below. The first step in the BDD process is to collaborate with your team members to discuss and understand the story so the right scenarios are derived. Typically, the three amigos, developer, tester, and the product owner or business analyst collaborate together to derive scenarios. This is one of the most important steps in rolling out BDD. This brings the team together and enables every member to clearly understand the requirements and remove any ambiguities. During this step, bring in any other team members who may be involved in the implementation process. By getting team members who are required to implement the story and defining the scenarios as a unit, all the members who are involved in the implementation stage are kept on the same page. You could use a technique like Oopsie for an effective collaboration with team members. Using techniques like Oopsie, make sure all team members participate in the collaboration process and the details are discussed, resulting in scenarios which give the best outcomes. We've covered Oopsie in a separate video, which you can find on our YouTube channel or linked below. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more BDD content, including tips to improve your own BDDs. One of the key aspects while deriving scenarios is making sure you don't ignore any that the team members suggest. List every scenario during the discovery process. So, for the logon user story we saw before, the team might come up with all kinds of scenarios as shown below, which is a great thing. This shows that all team members are involved and have understood the user story before they begin developing. Now, once all the scenarios are listed, then use the Moscow method to prioritize the scenarios. Moscow stands for must have, should have, could have, and won't have. By applying Moscow, the team can define which scenarios are of high priority and which ones they can ignore. This decision should be collaboratively taken and agreed before starting any development work. Once the team has agreed on which scenarios will be implemented as part of the sprint, then the developer and tester need to work on the scenario to define the required steps. For the product owner or the business analyst, these steps could be optional. Let's say the team has decided to only go with the scenarios which are the must-haves for this feature. Then each scenario is taken and expanded further with steps. These steps explain how the scenarios are supposed to work. It is also quite important you define all of the scenarios except for the ones that are under the won't be. So if required, those could be implemented in future sprints. While defining the steps, the developer and tester should agree on the details regarding each step, like what website URL should be, if you decide to automate a website, and what the API should be called, if an API is used, and what values in a database should be checked. Once the steps are defined, the product owner or the business analyst can review and approve them. The developer should then take each scenario and implement a solution, while the tester should take and write automation script. The beauty about defining the BDD the way it is explained in this video is both the developer and tester can start at the same time. When the developer completes the development work, they should run all of the scenarios, and only when all of these scenarios pass, they should merge the code to the master branch. This should be after all the other criteria like static code analysis, code coverage, and peer reviews are completed. Once all scenarios are passed and the code is pushed to master, your CI/CD pipeline should automatically run. If there are any failures, then the developer should look into this immediately and correct it.